Today I'm going to run through everything you need to know to be a great bunker player. And so the first thing you need to know is that the sand is what moves the ball out. So great bunker players know that if I'm going to move the sand out of the bunker, then the ball is going to pop out. So that being said, if I've got a bunker shot that's a little bit shorter, I'm going to send the sand a little bit shorter. If I've got a bunker shot that's a little bit longer, I'm going to need more speed. So the sand propelling the ball out is going to need more speed. So it's going to go a little bit further. So that's the first concept we need to understand, is that you're not hitting the ball at all, hopefully, and that's why so many great players said the bunker is the easiest place to be, because you don't have to hit the ball. That being said, when I hit a bunker shot, how consistent I am in the bottom of my arc is going to determine how consistent I am hitting bunker shots, the proper distance with the proper spin. So here's a drill that I like for players where I'll draw a line in the sand. And I'll have players do this. I'll have them pretend this line is the golf ball and just see how consistent you can make the bottom of the arc. And so consistency in the low point is the first thing, because remember, we're not hitting the ball, we're hitting the sand. So how well you can get this club to enter where you want it to enter and exit where you want it to exit is a really important skill to have. So that drill is great for controlling your low point. Now, when I talk about the low point, in the bunker, the low point is underneath the golf ball. So that being said, when we set up to a bunker shot, you'll see great players dig their feet in a little bit. And the reason for that is I need to lower the bottom of my arc. So by getting into the sand a little bit and into my legs a little bit, I've effectively changed where the bottom of the swing arc is. So that's why you'll see great players dig their feet into the sand so that they can get underneath the golf ball like this. So the bottom of the arc's safe. If I set up on top of the sand, then my bottom of arc is in a different place. And that's where you'll see people hit thin bunker shots. So make sure the feet are dug in. Then the next thing we want is, we want our weight to be slightly left on our left side. Now, there's a distinction here because I'm not leaning on my left leg. If I lean on my left leg, then it creates a situation where I get too steep. But if I dig my feet into the sand and take my center of gravity, or my spine, the middle of my body, and move my weight left but still level, then I'm going to be in a good spot. So that's the first thing. The next thing would be ball position. So for a stock bunker shot, I want to have my ball position effectively off my left ear. So right about here in the stance. So that way, my center of gravity is right here. The ball is slightly forward of where my center is, so the club's going to enter underneath where my center is. And when I talk about my center, I'm effectively saying my belt buckle, my sternum, and the center of my head. So the ball's slightly forward of where my center is, but remember, my weight is level but slightly left this way, so that I can make sure that everything's working properly out of the sand. Then the next thing would be, how do we take this thing back? And there's a few different ways. Remember, I talked about the sand moving the ball out. So when I set up to a bunker shot and I look at what I have, I'm always going to be setting up with the thought of, what do I have to do to propel this sand? Now, if I want to propel the sand different ways or different trajectories, then I'm going to take the club back a little differently. Because sometimes we need high spinning bunker shot. Sometimes we need a low rolling bunker shot. So the sand is going to propel the ball differently for that, and we're going to take the club back differently. So if I want to hit a bunker shot that's a little bit higher with a little bit more spin, I'm going to set up, the face is really open. Then, as I take the club away, I'm going to need to hinge this club more. I'm going to need to hinge it by pushing my arms down and away. So my hands go down and away as the club sort of hinges up. From a down the line view, it would look like this. I'm pushing my hands down and away, the club hinges up. The key here is I'm getting the club to be very light here by pushing my hands down and away and getting the club set up in this direction. The club's light because the weight of the club head is dispersed evenly between my arms here. If I took the club back here, the club gets heavy because gravity's pulling it straight down. So I want to take the club, push down and away to get it hinged, to get it pretty vertical. Now, I've pushed my hands down and away to hinge the club. That's different than just hinging the club because I need the width in my arms, but I need the angles in my wrists. So make sure that you're not just hinging, you're pushing your arms down and away effectively to get the club hinged. Now, for a spinning, higher, nice bunker shot, we're gonna have more of a push down and away hinge here, and then we're also gonna have a push down and away hinge on the other side. So that makes my arc a little bit more of a tight U shape. So I wouldn't say it's a V, but it's more of a tighter arc. So I push the club down and away, I strike the sand, and then I re-hinge the club for a bunker shot that would look like this. So it landed pretty soft, had some height to it. It was a good bunker shot. Okay, now, let's say I have a bunker shot where I need a little more distance. I gotta get it out a little further. In that situation, I'm gonna set up, and this time I'm not gonna hinge the club as much to get it as vertical. I'm gonna take it back a little bit wider on both sides. So that way my bottom of arc is more U-shaped, but in this situation I'm trying to propel the sand less vertical and more horizontal because the sand is gonna propel this ball out a little bit lower. So a wide to wide bunker shot or a wide arc bunker shot would look more like this. So there the sand propelled the ball at a little bit lower trajectory and it came out with less spin, more roll. So sometimes you need that shot. So in the bunker, make sure, dig your feet in, move the legs or the shins a little left, not leaning left, but just the shins and legs. Get my weight a little left. Then I know how far do I need to send this sand for this particular shot. So if I need to send it high, I'm going to push my arms down and away on both sides so the club gets hinged. If I need to send it low with less spin, it's going to be wide to wide. So I appreciate you watching this video. I hope this helps, and thank you.